Hello, wonderful humans. Let's talk about libido. Libido is one of the number one symptoms that people mention when they join our clinic, that they've lost, misplaced, it's disappeared, it's conspicuous by its absence. They say, I've lost connection even with myself, let alone my partner. The idea of having sex just leaves me cold. I like the idea of it, but the desire is just not there. What's happening? Well, firstly, please be super kind to yourselves. You are going through the biggest mental, emotional, spiritual, physical transformation in any male or female lifetime between birth and death. It's huge. Of course, when you're stressed, or you've got anxiety, or you don't feel great about yourself, you've not had enough sleep, you're wondering who the heck you are, sex is going to be quite low on the agenda. Let me explain what's worked for people over the last 10 years, blending in some of the latest science and some peptides. But a quick disclaimer, this is not intended as medical advice. I am not a doctor. Please be careful. This may have the side effects of saving your sex lives, improving your relationship, and bringing some joy back into your life. That's the intent. Okay, libido, we're breaking it down into 4 areas. We're going to call it hormones, lifestyle. We're going to talk about peptides and supplements. And then we're actually going to talk about vaginal health as well, because this is a really important one. Libido changes subtly between perimenopause and menopause. In menopause, there tends to be a risk of vaginal atrophy and or a lack of lubrication. All of these can be reversed, managed, prevented ideally. So let's just go through this. There used to be a school of thought. You would go to your doctor who would say, oh, you need more testosterone. Well, not so fast. If there are 2 components to hormones which are really, really, really important to appreciate if you wish to find your libido again. The first part that I talk about all the time, forgive me, is getting estrogen balanced to progesterone. That's number one. Adding testosterone into the equation could make matters worse if you don't do it sequentially. What does that mean? So testosterone is super important. It's great for libido. Everybody knows that. But what they don't appreciate is that if you've got inflammation, simply throwing testosterone into the mix means that this testosterone turns into more estrogen and you can push yourself into estrogen dominance. You may feel aroused, horny, full of libido for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then suddenly you put on 8, 9, 10 pounds very rapidly and you feel sluggish and depressed. That is testosterone turning into estrogen. So before supplementing with testosterone, it's really important you lower aromatization, you lower inflammation. How can you do that? Well, when you start your estrogen and progesterone, assuming you've had your Dutch test, you know which needs support, maybe both, maybe just one, maybe neither. You then, when you put in the testosterone, following an anti-inflammatory lifestyle that we're about to cover, you can use a grape seed extract. You can use some grapeseed extract, which is a super strong polyphenol and will down regulate CYP19 aromatization, which transforms testosterone into estrogen. So let's just recap hormones and then we're going to move on. 1, ensure that estrogen is level with progesterone, more or less. Very easy to do when you've done your Dutch. Secondly, for you to enjoy the success and benefits of testosterone without the downsides, you need to get inflammation under control. And then when you use testosterone, you add in some grapeseed extract. So that's really 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. Simple. Okay, next, lifestyle. Let me just cover the obvious. Sleep. Feeling refreshed, essential. If you're groggy and you're suffering from insomnia and you've got poor sleep hygiene and you're surviving on 2.5 disrupted hours sleep, there is very, very little chance that you're going to be in the mood for sex. So enjoying some refreshing sleep, and part of that is getting estrogen balanced to progesterone. The other part is going through the sleep workshop, a deeper dive into sleep, and following those steps. Stress. It's definitely an outlier personality who says, when I'm super stressed, I feel like I need more sex. Just investing in some breath work, a little bit of grounding, some outside activity, all the basics are really going to allow you to have the mental bandwidth, the connection of self, the freedom to think creatively. Just get in front of stress. Now, I'm going to put in lifestyle as well, is diet. Why? It's important with diet that you're not creating inflammation and stress. Why? Inflammation and stress are the two biggest influences on hormonal balance. So without realizing it, you could be disrupting this very first part through stress and inflammation. Let's get on to the peptides, because that's what people are asking all the time. Peptides and supplements. Please remember, in order of priorities, this is definitely number one and number two. These are where all the big marks are to be won. These are, when you have them in place, you will benefit from them. So firstly, an absolute game changer for refinding your connection, basically your physical desire to be touched or even to be near someone. Maybe you want to be hugged by your partner rather than actually ground them into submission or send them away on a long holiday. Then I find this is just sublime, and that is oxytocin nasal spray. Obviously, oxytocin is entirely natural. It is now pharmaceutically recreated. It's identical. You don't need to inject yourself. You can take it as a nasal spray. It gives people that sense of connection, that feel good, the concept that they might even want to be touched or held, reconnecting with your partner. Oxytocin has a lot going for it. If you want to take that a step further, there is something called melanotan 2. Once again, peptides are research chemicals. I am not incentivizing or encouraging you to take these. There is a joke going around in the clinic amongst some of the clients that they're going to launch a club called Jacked, Tanned and Laid because of melanotan 2. Melanotan 2 is incredible for stimulating melanogenesis. That's basically development of more melanocytes so that you get a tan. But one of the side effects of this is, well, this is quite interesting, is it can improve body composition. It can help burn fat. And the second part of the melanotan 2 equation is it sits on melanocortin receptors, MCR3 and 4, which actually stimulate libido and sexual desire, arousal without even being touched. There are lots of tales of guys who have taken too much and then been left for hours on end with ridiculously strong erections. That's called priapism. Be aware, most melanotan 2 formulas are injectable. Less is more, and you can end up feeling a little bit nauseous for 10 or 15 minutes. So this isn't something you would do pre-sex, for instance. This is something you would do every other day for a couple of weeks and let that desire accumulate using some oxytocin. There is a peptide out there called PT141, which is basically an ultra refined product from melanotan 2. I don't recommend it. Most people have heart palpitations. Yes, they feel an increase in desire and blood flow, but they also feel really nauseous. So it's a bit of a, dosage is key. I personally wouldn't encourage people to experiment with that. Now, Swerveball, one of the drugs out there currently, a pharmaceutical, which is actually for erectile dysfunction, tadalafil or Cialis or Viagra as it's known, is being repurposed for a couple of longevity reasons. One is it helps balance nitric oxide. What's the benefit of that? Well, not only does nitric oxide contribute to improved erections and improved blood flow in the vagina, in the vulval area in females, it also actually contributes to improved endothelial layer. So that's the lining of your veins and arteries. So it's actually an important player in heart health. Now, dosage is key. For you or your partner, you would only want 5 milligrams, perhaps every other day. Then you could gently increase that. And then before even considering sex, you would maybe increase that to 10 and then experiment with 15. These are all very small, safe doses. If you've got some kind of heart issue, please don't play with this. But if we were to just recap peptides and supplements, oxytocin nasal spray, very safe, gives you that warm sense of love and connection. Melanotan 2 can go a long way to helping with body comp, with skin tanning naturally without the sunlight, although it's enhanced in sunlight, and can raise feeling of desire and sexual arousal. And then some tadalafil or Cialis or Viagra can really improve heart health, mitochondrial health, and improve blood flow. And in females, there's lots of research coming out as improving orgasm strength and ease of orgasm. Those three together, really just an absolute dream team. Vaginal health. This tends to be more of a complaint from those of you in menopause than perimenopause, because obviously low levels of estrogen are really, really damaging to all of the sexual organs. Frankly, estrogen is a longevity compound. It's really important. What are the players out there? There are some creams like Inanna, that's entirely natural, which improves sensitivity, blood flow, and can contribute to better orgasm, as well as it's a lubricant. There is something else called Julva, don't know why they've called it that, and that has some DHEA in it. You can also use some DHEA cream. Please be cautious about dosing. Quicksilver do a skin cream, which is DHEA, which is very good. The reason I'm saying DHEA rather than an estradiol cream, both of them work pretty well for vaginal health, for vaginal architecture, for lubrication. The difference is, if you're using an E2 estradiol cream, well, it's not actually going to be contributing to better erections from your partner if he is male. So, DHEA, when it comes to actual sex, is better. Estradiol E2 low dose has loads of benefits for vaginal health. I would encourage everybody to consider and read more about using estrogen creams. It's just you wouldn't be doing that around times when you're going to be having sex with your partner. So it's not either or, it can be as well as, it's just different. You might take E2 first thing in the morning when you've got out of the shower and DHEA in the evening, for example. Hopefully this has been enlightening and useful. Last thing, my Columbo moment. One thing which can be incredibly beneficial for the clitoris is actually using a very small amount of testosterone cream. Now, what are the rules around this? One, it has to be bioidentical. Two, it must not be a testo gel, which has compounds in there which will actually burn your intimate parts, not stimulate them. And three, you are talking about a very small dose. It needs to be a very small dose, otherwise it can lead to abnormal clitoral enlargement. So I say this cautiously. This is based on a decade of listening to feedback and success stories. Testosterone cream can be great for additional stimulation. It has to be a cream, it has to be bioidentical, and it has to be a very small amount. Experiment with that. If people are still having problems being aroused with these, then actually you can use some red light therapy to re-stimulate nerve generation in that area. Less than 20 minutes a day, but that can be an amazing way to actually reconnect nerves, grow new nerves, actually enhance mitochondria in the area. But dosage is key. 20 minutes is maximum. Okay, please never be backwards about coming forwards. We're here to serve you. We're all here to live glorious lives. We want to lift you up. So thank you for watching. I look forward to serving you.